When I got thinking about this project and Wendy and I got talking about it, it's really a lot about legacy, Joseph Brant's legacy and the legacy of all the great families in Burlington. I'm proud of my family and the hard work that they've done for funeral service and serving families for so many years. I'm actually a third generation in funeral service. It all started with my great uncle and aunt in Chatham, Ontario. And they had a 15-year-old son who died, and because of that, they got involved in funeral service about 1926. My aunt and my father were raised on a prairie farm, and basically the family lost everything, and so they were adopted by my great uncle and aunt, who brought them to Chatham about 1928. Then my aunt and my dad spent about 10 years there, and then in about 1938 they came and purchased the business in Burlington from the Williamson family. Giving back for Wendy and myself and for the Smith Funeral Home Group all started with my mom and my dad. And actually I had forgotten this until we got talking about this project, that we actually had a lady from Poland who had been in a concentration camp who after the Second World War came over, lived with us while she got oriented to Burlington and to Canada. So giving back is something that we treasure and want to continue to do. Joseph Brant Museum, for me, was a source of getting out of school, I think, because we had a tour of the museum. I can't remember if it was grade 7 or 8 or whether it was the Boy Scouts or Cub group, but anyway, we had a chance to go to the museum, and I was fascinated by the costumes and the history and the customs and the names of families that I knew in talking around our table at Mom and Dad's, all growing up. And we decided that it was time for us to get involved in some way. And then John and Barb and a number of different people talked to me about their vision for making the museum an attraction, not only for people in Burlington, but for people around the world, and how they could take a facility, expand it, and attract people from this community, but otherwise, other communities around us. The Joseph Brant Museum can become and has been a heritage center for our community, but also it can be something of which we can be extremely proud, representing and remembering the families that have made the community great, but also giving us an opportunity to bring people from outside Burlington to come and see what a great community is, to enjoy the museum, to enjoy displays and history of our community, but also to attract exhibitions and displays that have national and international acclaim. So I think it can be good for our community, good for Ontario, and good for Canada. The waterfront is an attraction for Burlingtonians, but also is becoming an attraction for people from outside Burlington. So people can come and they can enjoy the waterfront, Spencer Smith Park. They can come to the Performing Arts Center, to the Burlington Center for Arts, the old or former Cultural Center. They can walk along the beach strip, as we call it, the beach strip, which will become a beach park, linking the downtown at Brant and Lakeshore right over to the canal, then the Burlington Bridge. So I think it'll be an attraction that is holistic, and the museum will be in the center of that attraction. And say, just imagine that you've got all these great things, but you don't have the facility that you need. I would say that along with Carpenter Hospice and the hospital, the library, the Performing Arts Center, the Burlington Arts Center, all great organizations who have great visions, but needed to expand their facilities. I think the museum is in the same position. They've got a great history, great heritage, things that we're so very proud of and things that we want to remember, we want to build on and go forward into the future, but we need that kind of facility that we can do it and make Burlington proud and invite other people from outside the community to come in and make it a great community that it is, and make it a great community in the future also. Wendy and I talked about what we could do to recognize the Smith family. Our donation to a sector of the museum to make it successful, the project successful, will not be about Wendy and myself, although we're the ones that, because of the hard work of our family and my family, are going to be able to make something happen there. And so it's going to be in recognition of my great uncle and aunt, my father, my aunt, my uncle, my brother, and the Williamson family, from whom we purchased the business and had way back to 1877, which is Burlington Historical Records can talk about the Williamsons and their service in caring for the families that had had a death and a bereavement. So we want to recognize all the hard work of our family and the Williamson family that have helped make the community a great community, which will continue on the legacy for other families and the pride that we all have in this community. I encourage my friends, neighbors, and people in business to support this project because it's really worthwhile and will help to make Burlington even greater.